So, Chicken, what is your number 6 pick?
Mine is the greatest classic cartoon ever known to man, The Simpsons. They've done it all, and they're still doing it. I don't know how you argue not having this in your top 10. This is touched and been a part of culture for what, 30, 40 years now? I don't know. It started,
Yeah,
what, 89 is what it says of when it started.
I believe you're correct.
So there's not much to say. They've made fun of everything. They've come up with every storyline. They're a part of every piece of pop culture, including conspiracy theorists. You know, we all know the head cutting off the statue. Like, there's so many things about this show that are like always going to be memorable. The incorporating them between, like, Family Guy incorporated them, and they did like back and forth. Like they've had, you know, back and forth with Simpsons or with South Park. They've had movies. The franchise is what it is. Like, it's an incredible TV show, and there's no denying that they belong in the top 10. So
all I'll say is, yeah, this is staying power in the dictionary. I think that there's just a picture of the Simpsons, and holy Christ, this thing may never actually end. I think Mike Groening has just set this up to go on forever. Now,
it's not as culturally impactful as it used to be. Like, Eat My Shorts was a thing when we were kids.
No, it's not.
Like, not
yeah, because this was it was so.
But like,
it was
Homer
so,
Simpson, Duff Beard.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll have more to say on the Simpsons a little later.
There were a lot of things that made this stand apart from other shows. Now there's so many adult-themed cartoons. The reason the Simpsons still holds up is because of its staying power. It's not,
they're the OGs.
It's not doing anything different. It's doing the same thing Family Guy is doing. Like, they're not adapting, they're not evolving, they're just staying the course. Longevity. And I think my biggest problem with,
have you guys figured out that that's what people want? They want that continuity.
Staying power.
Have you noticed that all the most popular shows go back to a stasis at the beginning of every episode?
Yes.
People like that fantasy that their family can always be in stasis.
A couple of weeks ago, I can't remember the exact video, but somebody actually broke it down. They pinpointed the moment when the Simpsons jumped the shark. And you're like, oh, yeah, it must have been in like season 29 or something, right? No, actually, it was in like season 6, like pretty early on. And when I tell you, you'll be like, oh, yeah, holy shit, they kind of did. But there's so many classic episodes like Monorail, so many Tree Houses of Horror, Bart in the fucking Well. Like, there's Who Shot Mr. Burns? So many classic episodes.
Who Shot Mr. Burns was so fun.
It was great. Do you remember that classic episode when the real fucking teacher came back? What's the teacher's name? No, why can't I think of it now?
Krabappel?
The fucking teacher. Yeah. No, Skinner.
Oh,
remember?
Yeah, Principal
Skinner. When they brought the real Principal Skinner back, because he was fucking like POW in Vietnam or some shit. They're like, yeah, it's true. I'm not actually him. And then the rest of the episode was dedicated to, well, we don't really like this guy. So at the end of the episode, they're just like, yeah, we decided we don't really like the real you, so we're just going to pretend you never happened. And they tied him to a train, and they ran him out of town. And a guy swore him in, do you accept being the real Principal Skinner forever here? We'll never mention this again? Yep, I accept that. That's great.
I do remember that.
Yeah, that was their jumping the shark moment, and they never really recovered from it in terms of pushing the envelope. And you can go back and look. Like, there's scores on IMDb, I think, even, or Rotten Tomatoes or wherever. It kind of shows.
I'm sorry. I fucking love that, though. That's fucking hilarious. Like, we kind of like the old guy. Can we just run him out on a rail? Do you swear to me the real Scott? And we'll never bring it up ever again? Like, yeah, that's small town law in like the 1960s. Okay, that's funny as shit. Like, all right, Rob, we're just going to look the other way.
Some small towns, that's still the way it is.
So yeah, excellent stuff.
Phil, what is your number 3, sir?
It's one that we've also covered, so I will do what I can here, but my number 3 pick is The Simpsons in terms of staying power, cultural relevance, its ability to make controversy. Who, like we talked about earlier, Who Shot Mr. Burns became a cultural phenomenon. Okay, it was up there with O.J. Simpson.
Newspapers.
Yes, we were talking about that in school. The teacher was talking about that to us, not just us amongst ourselves. Okay, that shit was powerful. The Simpsons but they also have the one thing that a good sitcom needs. You need to have the characters go on crazy adventures, but always return to the same beginning stasis of every episode, because people like to have the fantasy that they can keep their family together the way it is forever. And that's never the case. And that's why shows like The Simpsons, it's kind of comforting and calming. There's still Marge and Homer and Bart and Lisa and Maggie. And no matter how much your life changes, at least the doting old Homer Simpson is still the same. And so that is next level staying power. Like, unfortunately, people 10,000 years from now, like this, one of these pictures might be the only thing they see of our entire century. Okay, like that's how, like, you know, how much do you spend studying shit in the 11th century? Probably not much. And so yeah, the 21st century, this might be the case. And so my pick for number 3 of the greatest television shows of all time, The Simpsons.